Okay, so let's go to our chapter number 1, buyers versus sellers. Are they very conflictive worlds, or can we live together in harmony? Let's take a look at the world between buyers and sellers. 4 lessons. First one, the tension between both. Second one, the aims of each side. Lesson 3, the buyer main objective and concern, and it's not price, you will see that later. And number 4, the relevance of purchasing in any organization, not only at the customer side but also in your own company. Okay, let's go in. So the tension between buyers and sellers. Why tension? Because if you think about it on a very bold way, you would say they are in completely different worlds. One wants something, the other wants the opposite. One wants to be sole supplier, the other one wants to have multiple suppliers. One wants to sell by exploring pricing, the other one wants the lowest price possible. So here you can read it through, you can go through it. I think it's pretty much clear that both are in what seems to be conflictive sides, and it's your role. They are not conflictive, they are probably in different spaces, and it's your role to build the bridge. That's the role of the sales rep, to build a bridge, to find common ground. Because if you have something that they want, and if they have something that you want, man, you just have to negotiate, you just have to find it out, you just have to dig in what is really what they want and what can you really offer to tackle that need. That's your role. So it's not conflict per se. So it's not conflict per se, but an opportunity. And there's where you step in. Okay? Of course, each side must think, and it doesn't always happen, obviously, because people tend to be very, very egocentric, and you just think about what you want. You tend to forget about what the other side might want. Try to think it over. Try to think, what do I want, but what does he want? It's very, very important that you are aware of the impact on the other side, or the expectations on the other side. What would be nice to have for you? What would be nice to have for him? Think it over. It's very important. Don't think only about your side. Okay, I need these margins, I need these volumes, I need to sell X or that. Okay, that's one side of the equation, but try to find out the other side. What does he want? How much does he want to buy from you? And why? Under what conditions? Could it be different? Could it not be optimal but still good? That's your role again. That's why you are a sales rep. But that's important that you think it over. So it's not only about you, it's not only about your objectives, it's about both objectives. Does it make sense? Of course, when you go to a customer, when you have an important negotiation to do, you tend to think about, okay, I want this and that and that and that. Turn the page and now go down through the other part. What does he expect? Anticipate. Both parts have aims and objectives, not only you. And this is not negative. And it doesn't mean that you have to give away, but be aware, right? Let's go to the next one. Okay, let's go to the next one. What is the main concern of the buyer? What is his main objective? In everything that he does, a buyer, what does he want? You are wondering, the lowest price. It's all about price, right? Wrong. The price is not the buyer's main concern. Everybody thinks so, and he will tell you so. And every month you're gonna have discussions about pricing. But that's not his biggest concern. His biggest concern is actually not having the product. Imagine if he doesn't have the product. Imagine if his factory stops because he doesn't have the product, because his supplier didn't deliver it. Imagine how would he respond to his manager, to his management, to his people. Not having the product is the main concern of any buyer. How could they explain to the other departments, to the other functions, hey, we are stopped because we don't have product, because I screwed up. Prices are a concern and are a discussion. But the biggest one is not having the product. Have that in mind. That will change your perspective. I have tough negotiations and discussions with my customers about prices, surely. But it's when we have some production problem that we cannot deliver on time that I have the biggest discussions. Because when we cannot deliver on time, our customers get very, very worried. Very, very worried. More worried than about 10 or 20 bucks. Think it over. Pricing is not the main concern of the buyers. And of course, if they have plenty of suppliers, they can be in a kind of a comfortable situation. That's why it's important that you move up in their strategic sourcing, that you move up your position, that you become a more important and relevant seller, because then they will be more attentive to having the product. Of course, the pricing discussion will be there, but the reliability of supply will be the major concern. Okay? So, next one. Let's see. The relevance of purchasing. Why is purchasing so important? Why don't they just accept my price and that's it? You have to think about that. In your own company, you have a purchasing department. You have to buy stuff. Your company buys stuff. So they also buy stuff, but they buy from you. You have other people buying for you. And it's important to understand how all this flow works. And it's important to understand that some small actions might have small actions might have an important impact in your organization. I'll give you in this chart a small example that if, for instance, you make 5% discount on your item, that means it's not only about losing 50% of your profit. Look at the numbers, and I hope you can follow up what do they mean. So you have 10 bucks of profit, dollars, euros, whatever. If you make to the selling price of 100, if you make 5% discount, in the end that amounts to 50% of your profit. What would that mean? That would mean that in order to have the same profit, you have to sell the double, or you have to reduce costs, or you have to reduce personnel costs, or you have to improve any other process. So whenever you think about giving a discount or giving away or making concessions, always think it over. There's an impact, and the impact is not translated on one which what you think, oh, this is only a few bucks. There's a bigger impact. So discounts, lowest prices are a very tricky thing to do. You shouldn't play your competitive position based on pricing, definitely not. Based on discounts, based on campaigns, all those are short-term manipulations and cannot lead you to long-term good results. explore everything else that there is to explore. And you'll see further on the rest of this course how you can do it. Okay? Take your time, go through this chart, understand the impact of purchasing, not only on their side, but also think for your own company as well. So, as a wrap-up from this first chapter, the buyer is a person just like you, with emotions, with good days, bad days, with a family, with time constraints very often, with pressure from his management, with targets, with objectives, with KPIs, and therefore is not on a better position than yourself. Your role is to bridge his interests with your interests. Bear in mind, the buyer's main concern is not price, it's having the product on their premises. Whenever you think about the buyer or about a negotiation, think about what you want, what would you like to get, what would be nice to have, but what does he want, what does he expect to have as well. Think from both sides' perspectives. Think about the relevance of purchasing and the impact of purchasing in any organization, in yours or in theirs. It's important to have this broader view. So this is it about the world between buyers and sellers. Sounds conflictive, but they have to work with each other. They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. You as a sales rep, you have the expertise, you have the market knowledge, you have the trends, you have technology, you have quality. They need all that. And they need all that, and they offer you a price, or they will propose you a price, or they expect a price. So leverage that. Try to find out what are their main criteria for purchasing and tackle that with what you have to offer. Meet them halfway. Okay? Hope it makes sense, and looking forward to see you on the next chapter. Bye.